Hello friends, my name is Vasily, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to talk about architecture. Architecture in general, right? There are lots of them, so if we talk about client side, I think most of the ideas are the same in client side or in backend, but I have my main expertise is about client sides, right? Particularly in best platform in the world, iOS. Was it a nice attempt to force you write some comments? Okay, never mind. I like Android too, actually. So, we are going to talk about architecture, why we are going to use it, why we need it, when we are going to start think about it. So let's describe, starting point, right? So you are engineer, of course, wonderful engineer. So you can write code, you know your programming language and you know your domain. So you know API. For example, if you're a iOS engineer, right, you know, of course, UIKit, maybe Swift UI and Swift language. So you know all tools that you need to write good code, right? And then you start thinking about standards, right? So for example, one more engineer joined to your team and you have to explain lots of things, right? For example, you have two features in your application like authorization, right? And for example, profile. This is different pages, different screens, but let's talk about them like a features, right? So you have to describe authorization feature and then to describe a profile feature separately. Why, right? If you have common architecture, you will have to describe in general authorization, right? And developer will understand profile feature too, right? Because they are going to have common architecture. So, what is architecture? How we can touch it? Regularly, we have many classes, right? And we have different... actually, let's jump to the mirror and I will try to write something to describe it. I hope it will be not so slow. I'm not a big expert in Miro, but I'm going to learn it with you guys. Okay, let me switch to another view. Okay, yay, my Miro. So, what we're going to do? Let's start with this. So, we need example. We need, for example, MVC, right? Of course, MVC, this is model, right? Then view, then controller. This is the most common, maybe most basic architecture in many applications. So, sorry, if you are Android engineer, probably you know better MVP, model view presenter, but yeah, if you like this video, probably I will try to create an example for each architecture, right? And this is like a conversation, right? This is not tutorial. If you want to learn how everything is working and you need theory, yeah, sorry, this is not that channel. In this channel, in this video, we are going just to talk and have fun, right? I'm going to share my experience, what I think. So, okay, oh, very big view. So let's do this. Let's use different colors to make it wonderful. Okay, too much greens. Okay. And right now this is our architecture, right? So where is the frame? This is our MVC, right? Model, view, controller. So using these elements, you can describe each feature, right? So let's talk about feature. For example, you will have, let me try set example. So it will be, as I said, authorization feature or a login screen, right? So if we talk about MVC, right, and authorization feature, let me make it bigger, right? Is it bigger enough? I can make it more bigger. Yay! I think this is much better, right? So we have our authorization feature, right? What we are going to do? So our MVC model view controller will split our authorization feature into layers. We will have, I will try to maybe describe some classes, right? So what we're going to have? We are going to have here, where is wonderful stickers? Right, we are going to have here, oh, too big. So we are going to have maybe authorization, oh my god, I'm sorry. Authorization models, right? We are going to have authorization views, right? And we are going to have one more sticker, of course. Yeah, authorization controller. Controller, right. So you can see that our MVC will describe each feature, right? So we will start with this. In general, I will tell you that MVC is not enough, right? Not one architecture is good enough, right? I'm talking about I tried in production MVC, I tried Viper, I tried MVVM, also I played with Redux, and I'm talking about iOS development. Probably on Android, on web, you can do the same, right? Depends on the technologies that you're going to use. So, if we're talking about MVC, right, let's return. We are trying to describe to understand. So, you will have authorization model classes, right? Also, you will have authorization views. It can be classes or structures, right? The same for controller. Actually, let's remove it. So, right, models. What's next? Is it architecture? Like I will create, for example, 3 classes: authorization model, authorization view, authorization controller. This will be my one feature. Is it enough? Not really, but we are very close. So we need to make connections between them. So how authorization model interact with authorization view, right? How authorization controller interact with model, and all of these questions. How you can see several diagrams about MVC, right? I mean, we started from MVC. Probably let's talk about MVC. Yep. So you can see different diagrams, but I will show you like how I regularly implement it. So how it's working. So we have controller our mediator. Controller know everything, controller controls everything, right? So we can write this connection, right? And what does it mean? Controller update. How can I write text? Oh, yep. Update, manipulate. Right? Updates, manipulates view. Right? So that is what. Can I rotate this? No. How can I make it better? I'm sorry, guys. Probably I need to learn more about it. So we have controller. This it can be let's talk about iOS. It will be authorization view controller class, right? We're talking about UIKit. Then what's going on? View is our part that we render. So on view, user will see all information. If it's a list or table view, user will interact with view. That is everything what user see on the screen, on the device is view, right? So view, what view is doing? View notify, right? View notifies controller. What does it mean? In mobile development and probably in interactive web, right? Not in interactive, on any web, we have events like clicking, like tapping on the screen and so on. And operation system, maybe a WebKit, maybe, anything system will create event, hey, user just click on your photo, or user just scroll your list view. So, and that means notification, right? So, controller will receive these notifications, and controller is very smart. Controller knows what to do, right? So, when controller receive some notifications, regularly controller will ask data. Okay, Mr. Data, looks like user starts scrolling your wall. With images, with photos, right? Like we already displayed several photos, right? And we already displayed 10 photos. User starts scrolling, and we need 10 more photos, right? So model, please give me new data. So model will prepare everything for rendering, right? So what will be here? This connection, right? So it will be request, maybe, it will be request, not only internet request. You also can make a request to get your photos, to get your videos, to get some data from your local database on your device, right? Why not? So controller requests data, right? And here notifies / creates event. Creates event or throw event. You can pick any words you like. Yeah, English is not my strong part. I'm sorry, guys. So, what will be next? Let's try to make it like this. Okay, model will reply. Reply on the request. Or return data. Return data. So, okay. Oh, I can do something like this. Finally, I got it. Yeah, we have progress. And we can do this. Alright, now it's a little bit more readable, right? So, as I said, I want to repeat it. We can try to build each of these architectures. Sorry guys, it will be iOS, but I will try to use international words like interoperation system words, right? That we can try because we are smart, right? I also listen several Android podcasts and so on. So yeah, okay. Let me move it here. So you can see that we have controller, we have view, we have model, and we have these connections between these blocks, right? So look at our elements in our authorization feature, right? It will be absolutely the same. So our authorization controller will have access to the authorization models or authorization views, right? And can do, some manipulation, updates, and so on, right? So this is architecture, right? Probably Viper, MVV, MVVM, Redux, Elm, clean architecture. I think there are many architectures, right? We'll talk about the same, right? So basically, when we talk about app architecture, we talk about a structure of each features, right? But what is very interesting question? Like look at MVC, right? Okay, we have feature. Each feature will have this description, will have these elements, maybe several models, several views, even several controllers. For example, your authorization feature will have a login screen where you enter login and password, of course, password. So this is most securest password, right? So and also you may have another screen. It can be like reset password, right? Or forgot password. It can be all authorization features. So you may have several controllers, right? Okay. What is not described by MVC or Viper or MVVM, any of this? So I just want to say that all of these words, abbreviation, describe only one feature, like, authorization feature, right? We use MVC to describe what is going on inside authorization feature, like this. Let's return to our profile feature. Remember I talked it in the beginning. We may have profile feature. And we also will have profile models. We also will have auto profile views and profile controllers, right? But actually, let's create it, right? I can do it. I want to try to make it as visual as possible, right? Profile feature, right? It of course will be oh my god, profile models. Also it can be profile views, and also it will be profile controller, right? Nice. So the same, right? Like I'm as an engineer, I learned how we organize code, how our structure is working in authorization feature. So I do not need to go to team lead, tech lead, to senior developer and ask about profile feature, how it is working. And or I will spend much less time to understand how it is working if profile feature implemented the same way as authorization feature. So that means that in profile feature we also will have model, view, controller, right? That is good. That's MVC. But what MVC, MVVM, Viper, and all other architectures not doing? They are not really describe interaction between features, right? Like how they interact, how they are going to be created. Like regularly in my architectures, I use some. I will give you some examples, and of course, you will wait next video where I will try, for example, to take MVC and make it good. So regular, I heard like an idea that MVC is very bad. Like you have gigantic view controller or just controller. So a view controller, this is from iOS. So from UIKit. Right now I need to talk about UIKit or Swift UI because they were different. So I'm sorry, I lost the idea. So architecture, what I'm using. Yeah, so evening. So some elements that I'm using. For example, I use router, right? Also, I use something like services, right? Also, I use. Oh, I'm sorry. Something like assembly, right? Also, I use in each my architecture something like system bus. Alright, so I mean, I just want you to say that architecture that we learn reading wiki or other resources like again MVC, Viper, MVVM, and all of them, Redux, they're not enough. But what is very important? Very important that your application, your features can be really consistent, right? For example, I worked in several projects where we have several features implemented in one architecture, several features implemented using another architecture, right? And the problem was that it was not a moving process, moving from one architecture to another. So you may have, let's talk about again MVC, you may have absolutely different connections, right? And like not from their articles. Oh, I'm sorry, I just saw that my my face was covering this angle, this corner, right? Yes. I will check the video, and I hope you can see all the details, and I do not need to record it again. So, for example, you may have MVC, but instead of these two connections, you decided to implement this, right? It's also possible. I mean, found several articles that suggest to do this connection. Why not? I mean, I'm not prefer, but it's okay. So, idea is not just using clean architecture from tutorials, from wiki, from articles. Idea that you created architecture of a feature and it will be very consistent. It should be consistent in every your feature, right? Remember, feature is a screen or several screens. I hope this is clear. Alright, I will think about talking, maybe writing code with you. For example, creating MVC, creating Viper architecture, creating all of them, and of course it will be something like this. It will be a very long video and I am not really prepared. I will do everything like kind of live, right? Probably you can hear some mistakes and you can correct me, right? Okay, so also at the beginning I told about something like protection of your code, right? Architecture is always good. Architecture will help you to create frames for your code. So, what does it mean, frames? When you open your IDE and start writing application, right? You regularly, like, your language is very flexible, you can use any API, right? And that means that in any part of your application you can do everything you want. But if you create good architecture and everything is protected, right? You may, protected like hidden, you have several layers, you also resolve like, I don't know, global singletons. No, you do not have singletons at all, right? So, that code can help you to protect itself. For example, when I join to another company, I am a new developer, I open a project and I start doing what I want, but architecture will say, no, you are doing something weird, right? So, you may have that point when architecture doing two things, protect itself and say, hey, Vasil, you are doing something wrong. I do not allow you to do this. Because of the frames, because very good engineers, not like you, created lots of frames and you have to use that frames. You have to use that classes, structures to create new screens or services, right? So yeah, and also architecture will help you on reviews. So if you have lots of good components, architecture components, and you receive PR, pull request to review, that means that user already passed like a first level, right? First level of protection, right? And you probably will save your time on reviewing this PR because it is compiling, and you created lots of frames, lots of restrictions. So to avoid all of these problems, compilation problems, user will have to understand all of these frames, will understand what classes to use, how to manipulate with them, right? So yeah, I think that's it for right now, but let's summarize again. So what is architecture? Architecture is several components. You have several layers like models, controllers, views, and they have interaction. They have interaction between each other. So each of the component will do something and interact with another component, right? This is architecture. Or it will be your classes, and each class will have access to another not each, several classes like controllers will have access to the models, to the views, right? But for example, models will not have access. Yeah, if we are going to implement this, authorization models will not have access to the views. Authorization models will have to interact with the controller, right? I mean, no. Controller will have to interact. You got it. Controller will have to interact with models. You got it. You're very smart. Yep. That's it. I hope that was clear. So do not forget to write your questions, your suggestions, also your critics. Maybe I said something wrong. You are welcome to suggest me something. I like learning. So yeah, that's it, guys. Before I say goodbye, I want you to remind that this is private club, and of course, first rule of the private club, we are not talking about private club, right? We are not going to like videos, to click on thumbs up, right? Or like button. We are not going to write any comments, right? And we are not going to subscribe and share video, right? Because this is private club. Yep, have a wonderful rest of the day. Do not forget to create awesome projects. Yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.